Welcome to the journey of going out to sea with experienced fishermen. Today, we will explore the process of large-scale fishing together from the moment the net is cast until the fish fills the boat's hold. Every moment is full of the ocean, strong and real. Let's follow and feel the vibrant rhythm of life in the heart of the ocean. While the city was still asleep, the primitive fishing boats had started their engines, heading out into the open sea through the night. No noise, no bustle, just the flickering lights, the sound of waves, and the silent people preparing for a hard day's work. They set sail while it was still dark, overcoming the white-capped waves, carrying the hope of a full catch in the middle of the vast ocean. The journey really begins here. The dawn is slowly breaking over the horizon, dyeing the vast sea golden. This is the most beautiful moment of the day, when heaven and earth are in harmony, and the first nets begin to be pulled up. Each silver wave rolls to the rhythm of the boat, each rope is pulled taut, all signaling the beginning of a new fishing day. For fishermen, dawn is not just light, but hope, the promise of boat holds full of fish and shrimp. And here it is. The first batch of fish has arrived on board. Hundreds, thousands of fresh fish are sparkling in the early morning sunlight. The sound of fish falling, the sound of baskets colliding, the calls to each other, all create a vibrant symphony in the middle of the ocean. Between the hours of casting nets to wait for fish, the fishermen take the opportunity to rest and cook a simple meal right on the deck. The fish has just been caught, cleaned neatly, seasoned simply, but with a rich taste of the sea. A little onion, chili, fish stock, all blend into the simmering pot of rice, creating a familiar aroma amidst the vast waves. No fancy dining table, no high-class dishes, just camaraderie, salty sweat, and cheerful laughter that drowns out the sound of the waves. As soon as the sky brightened and the waves began to rise, the fishermen entered the most important stage, casting their nets. Each person took a position, without being told what to do. Each movement was coordinated as if they had done it thousands of times. The net, weighing hundreds of kilograms, was slowly lowered, spread out on the sea surface, like arms reaching out to receive the blessings of heaven. In the vast ocean, it was the unity, perseverance, and experience that helped the small boats overcome the challenges and hope for a big catch one day. And so, after many hours of watching the fish and patiently waiting, the result finally came. Each net was pulled up. Tons of fresh fish poured into the hold like a golden rain in the blue ocean. The atmosphere became more urgent than ever. People scooped fish, people sorted, people transferred baskets. All were caught up in the work. Under the hot sun and slippery floor, there were still bright smiles from the fishermen, because there is nothing more joyful than a good harvest. Not stopping at one catch, today's fishing trip continues to be a bumper one. The winch rotates steadily, the cable tightens with each stroke, pulling the heavy net gradually up from the water surface. Below, the dense school of fish is gathering together, struggling in the blue water as if knowing its fate. And then with a bang, the second catch is dumped into the hole, stirring up the salty smell of the sea and the joy that cannot be hidden on each person's face. That achievement is the result of hard work, sweat, and a flesh and blood bond with the ocean. The next net was pulled up, and once again the hold was filled with fish and shrimp from the depths of the sea. There was no moment of rest. The fishermen immediately set to work. Some collected, some scooped the fish into baskets, some neatly folded each net for the next release. The work repeated itself, hard but rhythmic like a familiar breath in the middle of the ocean. Because for them, each catch of fish was not only a source of life, but also a testament to their resilience and perseverance in the vast ocean. Workers in worn-out overalls, sweaty faces, are bending down, quickly using shovels to scoop fresh fish into large baskets. They work at a fast, rhythmic and decisive pace. The fish, after being scooped up in baskets, will be moved into cold storage. The fish eyes are still bright, the fish scales sparkle like silver under the light. Each heavy basket is passed from hand to hand, drops of seawater drip onto the floor, condensing into puddles. Another net is pulled up. The tight ropes, the whistling of the pulleys, and the eyes following each pull all are highly focused. The heavy net is slowly rising from the water. Inside is the precious result of many hours of drifting, probing, and casting the net. Amidst the vast space and pale gray sky, this moment is not only about harvesting fish, but also the moment when people and the sea truly become one. And another batch of bright red fish fell into the hole. Sparkling in the light, each fish jumped up, splashing around, signaling a lucky sea season. The atmosphere on board was now more bustling than ever. Although tired, everyone was excited because the effort had been worth it. Each basket of fish, each scoop carried the silent joy of those who stuck to the sea, quiet but persistent. Right in front of the bell, the heavy net was finally pulled up. Hundreds of red fish poured out, pouring into the hold like a flood of gifts from the ocean. Underfoot was the wet floor, ahead was the vast ocean. The fishermen were still steady, coordinating rhythmically, ending a successful round of fishing. No need for many words. Just looking at the hold full of fish was enough to understand how great the joy was today. After being filled with baskets, the fresh fish are quickly washed with seawater right on the deck of the ship. Each fish is cleaned of slime and impurities, preparing for the next important preservation step. Without wasting a second, the brothers transfer the baskets of fish to cold storage, keeping maximum freshness until reaching the dock. Everything is done quickly and neatly because they understand that the quality of seafood starts with meticulousness at sea. Amidst the rolling waves, the last net of the day is being pulled up. All the brothers are gathered at the stern of the boat, hands holding the rope, eyes following each stretch. Everyone is putting all their strength into this important moment. Each person has a position. No one lets go. Each step of pulling the net is the connection of the whole group. Is experience, is endurance, is faith in the sea. The atmosphere becomes suffocating. Just a small signal, the hope of a big catch flares up strongly again. In front of us is the most awaited moment. The heavy net of fish is being lifted from the sea. Drops of salt water fall down the net. Each fish inside glistens silver under the gray sky, signaling a bountiful catch. Everyone watches with eyes filled with tension and excitement. And then with a bang, the net of fish is dumped onto the deck, echoing like the ocean's joyful cry to the seafarers. The last batch of fish was cleaned. Each basket of fresh fish glistened with silver, ready to be put into cold storage. The atmosphere on the ship was now less tense. Everyone's faces were radiant because today's trip was really a good one. A few laughs rang out, a few jokes between the brothers who had been attached to the wind and waves. In the middle of the vast ocean, sometimes just a glance, a nod, is enough to understand another meaningful day of work has just ended. The fish have been cleaned, the baskets are full, ready to be put into the cold storage compartment to keep them fresh until they reach the dock. After hours of casting nets, drying in the sun, facing the wind and waves, this is the time for the fishermen to breathe a sigh of relief. There is no sweeter rest than seeing the fruits of their labor neatly arranged on the deck like this. In the middle of the vast ocean, calloused hands continue to stretch to pull the net up from the ocean floor. The heavy rope is not only the weight of the net, but also the hope, the effort of the whole group. Each person makes a movement, regular and rhythmic, no need for commands, just experience and mutual understanding. Just like that, little by little, the large net gradually appears on the water surface, carrying the promise from the sea: today will be a bountiful day. The catch of fish had just been unloaded. The sound of the nets being released echoed throughout the ship's hold. The fresh fish were splashing about, sparkling like silver coins in the middle of the ocean. Without hesitation, the workers immediately got to work. Some gathered, some scooped, some sorted the fish by type and size. The movements were familiar, agile, and practiced as if they had been trained through hundreds of sea voyages. Here, no one gave orders to anyone, only team spirit and solidarity created efficiency. Each catch of fish was a small victory in the middle of the ocean. The boat slowly moved towards the buoy where the net lay motionless on the deep seabed. The cables were tightened, hands gripped the sides of the boat. Everyone was ready to get into position. On the surface, the lines of the net began to appear, undulating with the waves like a whisper from the sea. Another catch is coming. All eyes were focused forward, hands ready to pull, hearts beating harder with each wave. And so, the last net has finally entered the hold, complete, full, and soaked in the sweat of the seafarers. This trip ended not only with baskets of fresh fish, but also with the story of perseverance. If you find this video meaningful, Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and share to spread this value of honest labor to more people.